Did you know that in a clinical study of 500 patients, a staggering 386, 77%, were found to be suffering from psychosomatic illnesses? They weren't sick from germs or injuries, but from the toll of their own unhealthy emotions. This is based off of a part I read in the book The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. You can get the book from the top link of the description. Stay with me until the end because I will reveal how you can avoid falling ill from a negative mindset. The sleep crisis. Every night in the United States, more than 6 million sleeping tablets are required to put the American people to sleep. In fact, the American people are using about 12 million doses of sleeping tablets per day. That is enough to put every 12th American to sleep tonight. Approximately 7 billion 1/2 grain tablets are consumed yearly, which works out at about 19 million tablets per night. These numbers show just how much our modern society is struggling. So stressed, so overstimulated that millions rely on pills to fall asleep. Consider that sleep is our body's natural reset button. When we're unable to sleep, it's not just about feeling tired. Chronic sleep deprivation weakens our immune system, disrupts our metabolism, and ultimately sets the stage for various health problems. There's a guy called Brian Johnson that's been reversing his speed of aging, and he talks about just how important our sleep is and that people don't understand that it's actually one of the most important things for our health. So, if our sleepless nights are just the beginning of the problem, what other physical ailments might be stemming from a troubled mind? Let's move on to the next piece of the puzzle. The pain and headache epidemic. Again, it says in the book, a Washington official who loves to juggle figures, especially astronomical figures, told me that last year in the United States there was a total of 7.5 billion headaches. This works itself out at approximately 50 headaches per head per annum. Have you had your quota yet this year? Shortly after our conversation, I noticed a report that in a recent year, the drug industry sold £11 million of aspirin. Perhaps this era might appropriately be termed the aspirin age. Just imagine experiencing on average 50 headaches a year. For many people, this is a reality. They're a daily struggle against stress-induced pain. When I was younger and at school, I used to get headaches all the time, definitely way more than 50 times a year. So I can vouch for this and understand just how many people are having this struggle. Our reliance on aspirin and other pain relievers is not just a medical concern, but a clear indicator that our bodies are suffering. Chronic pain and constant discomfort are signs that the mind's stress and anxiety are manifesting physically. We see how sleep and pain are just symptoms, but what is really at the core of these issues? In the next section, I'll reveal the powerful and often overlooked connection between our mind and our physical health, the hidden impact of our emotions. And again, it says in the book, an authoritative source declares that every other hospital bed in the United States is occupied by a patient who was put there not because he encountered a germ or had an accident or developed an organic malady, but because of his inability to organise and discipline his emotions. In a clinic, 500 patients were carefully examined and 386, or 77%, were found to be ill of psychosomatic difficulties, physical illness caused largely by unhealthy mental states. Another clinic made a study of a large number of ulcer cases and reported that nearly half were made ill not as a result of physical troubles, but because the patients worried too much or hated too much, had too much guilt, or were tension victims. A doctor from still another clinic made the observation that in his opinion medical men, despite all extraordinary scientific developments, are now able to heal by the means of science alone less than half the maladies brought them. He declares that in many cases patients are sending back into their bodies the diseased thoughts of their mind. Prominent among these diseased thoughts are anxiety and tension. These observations suggest that our bodies are not just passive victims of external factors. They are deeply influenced by our internal state. When we allow negative thoughts, anxiety, and tension to build up, we're essentially inviting illness into our lives. Our mind creates a physical reality that can manifest in chronic conditions, from ulcers to immune system dysfunction. This isn't about blaming ourselves, it's about understanding the intricate mind-body connection that modern medicine overlooks. Now that we know stress and negative emotions can harm our health, the real question is, how do we take back control? Next, I'll give you solutions for a healthier mindset. The good news is that while our minds can be the source of our illnesses, they are also our greatest tools for healing. It's time to rewire your brain for positive thinking and transform your life. Here are 6 actionable steps for a healthier mind. Number 1, affirmations or prayer. So generally just use positive self-talk. So use daily affirmations or prayer to set a positive tone for your day. This practice helps reprogram your mind so that it thinks in positive ways rather than negative. Number 2, swap every negative for a positive. Whenever a negative thought arises, consciously replace it with a positive one. This habit trains your brain to focus on solutions rather than problems. Number 3, your diet, and often the most overlooked one. It's very true that you are what you eat. If you want your car to run well, you're not going to put vegetable oil in it. And that's the same with your body. If you want your body to run well, you need to give it nutritious foods that actually fuel you. Many of the foods people eat nowadays actually has a negative effect on your brain and body rather than a positive one. People eat food just for taste or to fill them up, but the real purpose of food is to give the body what it needs to thrive. So feed your body with nutrient-rich foods that support your brain health. A balanced diet can significantly impact your mood, energy, and overall mental clarity. So for me, I only eat from raw. So I have no packaged or canned pre-made foods. That then means I have no processed foods. I cut out bread, and my family has mostly, and they've noticed a massive difference in their mental state. So they don't get brain fog, they don't then get hungry again, they don't get bloat, and people just lose a lot of weight once they cut out bread. And one step further, I've already done this, would be to completely cut out white flour things, so pasta, bread, wraps. And for me again personally, I just only have spelt flour, so I'll have spelt pasta and spelt flour flatbreads, for example. Anyway, that was a long part. On to number 4, exercise. Now this is an obvious one, but again, we're doing the least exercise we've done in history. Like humans used to live outside, they'd build the houses, they'd chop down trees, they'd climb, they'd run a lot. Whereas now, most people just get in the car and lay about and watch Netflix and that. So people are doing way less exercise than ever before. And going from, if you believe in evolution or just how humans have gone in time, they've done a lot of exercise, now suddenly they're not. It's obviously going to have a detrimental effect on the bodies. But this is another thing, you've just got to start, because you don't want to start in the first place. But then once you do, you just get into this like snowball effect where you want to keep going, you enjoy it, and when you do it, when you get started and you go in every day and do an exercise, you might not want to do it that day, but then when you do it, you're glad you have and you enjoy it while you're doing it. Because regular physical activity doesn't just improve your physical health, it also improves your mental health because of the release of endorphins that boosts your mood. Even a short walk or quick workout can help clear your mind and reduce stress, because these things just bring you into the present and there's no stress and anxiety in the present. Another massive one, number 5, environment and consumption. Your environment has a huge impact on your mental state. This includes your friends, family, and physical surrounding. It also applies to what you watch and consume on social media or mainstream media, if anyone still watches that bull. Instead, you should curate your environment to include uplifting, positive, and inspiring content. So advice I'd give you that might be hard, but you've just got to do it. For me, like 3 years ago, I was unfollowed everything that wasn't helping me in life, and only followed things I had interests in that was self-improvement based, so wealth, health, philosophy, psychology. This then actually resets your algorithm as well and thinks, okay, this is the kind of content they want, and it starts giving you more of that. And also avoid mainstream media. So I've never watched the news in my life. I think young people aren't really watching it anymore. It's more older people like my parents' era and grandparents are massively into it. But the mainstream media, I can't deeply go into it, but it's pretty much programming your mind. And when you listen to it, just listen to how many positive things you hear on it, because I doubt it'll be very often you hear much positive. Number 6, prioritise sleep. And going back to Brian Johnson, he says you should become a professional sleeper. Sleeping should be the most important thing of your life, and nothing should ever break that. He said you should always go to sleep the same time and wake up the same time, and always make sure you get a minimum of 8 hours. You can search him up and probably find it, but he goes even deeper into it about having like pitch black room, certain temperature, all these things help you sleep. Having silence, not looking at screens for 1 to 2 hours before bed, not having bright lights on before bed. So just establish a calming sleep routine to allow your brain to rest and reset. Aim for 8 to 9 hours of quality sleep every night with a pre-bed ritual. So limit screens and stimulating content before bed, and also bright lights. Again, you can find all over the improvements of sleep and the positives, but good sleep is just essential for your cognitive function and emotional balance, for even your hormones and physical health. So it's an essential part of being able to rewire your mind and have a positive mindset to be getting good sleep. And again, something you can't speak much on here, but there were stories in the book of people that healed themselves of various things, you know what, through their mindset. So imagine a life where your mind empowers your body to heal rather than harm it. By taking these steps, you can break the cycle of stress, insomnia, and pain, transforming your health from the inside out. The evidence is undeniable. Our modern illnesses are not solely the result of external factors. They are, in many cases, a manifestation of a mind overwhelmed by negative emotions and stress. By understanding this connection and taking proactive steps to nurture a healthier mindset, you hold the key not just to managing, but truly transforming your well-being. Remember, while the statistics and stories are sobering, they also serve as a powerful call to action. Embrace the practices that empower your mind, and soon you'll notice the profound differences in your body's health. If you want to buy the book, then the link is top of the description. If you learned something new, please like and subscribe to keep learning. If you know anyone that's interested in this kind of content, then please share this to them, as it really helps me out. If you want to watch any of my other videos on this book, then the playlist will be on screen now. Stay positive, even when it seems everything is against you.